Greetings, traveler. Lately, with all the buzz about AI and LLMs, particularly when it comes to game design, there has been a huge uproar about AI basically generating games itself without leaving any of the fun part for the game designers. I think that's a big shame because I think AI can help us a lot in getting our creativity out rather than doing the creativity for us. So today what I want to do is share my most commonly used method of using an LLM to help with game design, and it's probably not what you think. If you don't know who I am, my name is Xanthos. I've been working in the games industry for over 14 years now, and ever since the beginning of my career, we had to make game design documents by hand, and there was nothing to help us. That process was usually slow and painful because we had to go through our minds and pick off all the things we wanted to make, and then one by one we had to put them on a document, otherwise nothing would happen. But I found that nowadays with LLMs we can have a little bit of that heavy lifting done for us, and I don't mean about the creative part, I mean about the listing down every feature without forgetting any important information to make sure that our team understands what we want to do. So today what I'm going to do is show you a little demo where I'm working together with one of the models out there to refine a little bit how things would look like on a document and make sure I don't forget anything important. So let's jump in. So here I have a test prompt, and this is with X, but from my experience this technique works with just about any LLM out there. So what I want to demonstrate is how going the typical way of getting help with game design documents usually isn't very helpful. And the technique that I found that makes this approach much more usable. What do I mean? Let's take a look. So without having any prior history in this chat, I jump in and I say, hello, I'm working on a new video game. Can you help me create the pillars for my game at the game design document level? So here we're talking about the game pillars, those 3 to 4 sentences or short descriptions about the things that we absolutely want our game to feature. And those are going to be the cornerstones of the experience, essentially. And this does not work well at all. Here's why. The answer simply jumps to a conclusion, right? And this happens basically no matter which model I use. It says, yes, I'd love to help you craft it. You're probably working in Godot. Why does it think that? I don't know. Then it tells me what design pillars are, which would be great if I asked what design pillars are, but I didn't in my prompt at all. I asked it to create the design pillars themselves. And then it gives me a framework for my pillars, which, I mean, both these things are correct information, right? There's nothing wrong here. It's just, this is not what I asked for. And then it thinks up of this echoes of the forgotten game, and it starts giving me pillars. So here the AI is doing exactly what we don't want it to do the creative fun part. And then it gives me some next steps. Nothing here is what I asked. And even if I continue the conversation, it's going to take a really, really long time to get to the point where I'm getting what I'm looking for. So what can we do instead? Here I'm jumping to another new conversation with a slightly different initial prompt. I'm saying, again, hello, I'm working on a new video game. Can you help me create the pillars for my video game at the game design document level? So up to here, it's the same prompt as before, but then I ask, before you answer, you can ask me any number of questions, one at a time, because you don't want to be flooded with questions, to help yourself achieve the most accurate answer. Can you do that? So here, we fundamentally change not just what we ask for, but how we're going to go about it. Normally, we would get some crazy long answer about, well, you should do this and you should do that. But instead, what we get now is, what general or core concept do you have in mind for the game? Which is precisely how this conversation should go. So if I say, let's say it's an online airship battle game. And now it's thinking specifically about this, and it's making some assumptions about, what sort of people would want this. And even though it made the assumptions, you saw it making some assumptions when it was thinking, it doesn't say, okay, well, if it's airships, you probably need this and that and a skybox, and I don't know, whatever it would think. But this method of asking the questions first stops it from that. So to make a long story short, this will get us one step at a time closer to the 3 pillars we want to achieve, or 4 pillars. And of course, you could go and refine those after you get them, but I found that this always goes towards the right direction, and it always asks the right questions when it comes to getting you closer to the initial goal that you stated at the beginning of the chat. So here I can start answering about PC and console, and is it realistic or non-realistic? Is it massively multiplayer or just multiplayer? We're going to go through the motions until we get exactly what I asked for. And this is a convergent process that will eventually get us there. It's not the kind of process where we start from something and we say, change it like this and change it like that. And the second pillar is a bit weird, because I found that way of doing it just takes way longer. Anyway, that's a very, very short demo of this approach and how you can use it to hopefully get to the result you're looking for way faster. And if you want to see how you can use the same approach to create other parts of the game design document, so detailed specs or test cases, or perhaps a diagram or something, then I think this is an excellent way of doing it. For more complex things like diagrams, of course, you'll have to work on it a bit more to make sure that the AI understands what you have in mind. But I think this is a fun way of making sure that you are in control of the creative aspect of the experience, and the AI simply helps you organize all of these thoughts and features on a document. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see any of those topics, please let me know down below. And other than that, have fun.